Hey class, in today's lesson we're going to talk about analyzing data, which is found in section 11-5 part 2 of your book. We're going to draw and interpret box and whisker plots. So here's some vocabulary. It says the range of a set of data is the difference between the greatest and least values. If you order data from the least value to the greatest value, the median divides the data into two parts. The median of each part divides the data further into four parts called quartiles. The interquartile range is the difference between the third and first quartiles. All right, so with the box and whisker plot, it says a box and whisker plot is a way to display data that uses quartiles to bound the center box, and the minimum and maximum values form the whiskers. So this section here, Q1 to Q, oops, didn't mean to move it. Q1 to Q3 is called the interquartile range, or IQR. And again, the max and min form the whiskers. And be sure that when you do box and whisker plots, it is very important that you line it up according to a number plot so that you can compare it to something else. All right, so it says the table shows average monthly water temperatures for 4 locations on the Gulf of Mexico. How can you compare the 12 water temperatures from St. Petersburg with that of Key West? All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to create 2 box and whisker plots so that we can compare using what we know about max, min, the median, the ranges of those values, okay? And then we're going to draw up a box and whisker plot and compare those two using the same number line, okay? So here we go. All right, so for St. Petersburg, first we need to find these values. So St. Petersburg, okay, first of all, the minimum value is the least value. So in St. Petersburg, I believe that the smallest number is 62. Then quartile 1 will come to that. Quartile 2 is also the median. So the middle of those values, and then quartile 3, and then max. These are the 5 values that are going to go on our box and whisker plot. And the max is pretty easy to find also. The max is, I believe it's going to be 86. All right, so to be able to find the median, we're going to have to put these numbers in order from least to greatest. So I believe the smallest is 62, and I'll erase this in a moment. So 62. Then we have, let's see, 2 64s. And then I believe we have a 68. And then we have a 70, a 74, and a 78. And after 78, we have an 80, 2 84s, and 2 86s. And that should be right because that's 12 months. Okay, so to find the median, we literally need to find the middle value. So if there are 12 months, that means that between the 6th and 7th month, that will be our average or our middle. So 1, 2, 3, 4, well 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 are here. So that's 74 and 78. So what we need to do is find the average of those two numbers. So add 74 plus 78, which gives you 152. Divide that by 2. And our median, or Q2, is going to be 76. All right, then to find quartile 1, we will use 74 and below. And then to find quartile 3, we're going to use 78 and above. All right, so there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 left on the left-hand side. So if we are trying to cross them off one by one, for example, we're left with 64 and 68. So again, average those two, you get 132 divided by 2, which is 66. And then same thing for the upper, 78, 86, 80, 86. And that one's easy, that one's 84. All right, so then we're going to put this on a box and whisker plot, but I'll do all that at the end because I'm actually going to stack them on top of one another. All right, so if that's St. Petersburg, let's go ahead and look at Key West, but I'm going to erase this information first. All right, Key West. Oops, well, oh well. Again, we need the min, quartile 1, quartile 2, which we know is the median, quartile 3, and then we need the max. So again, we need to put Key West in order. So Key West in order is, it looks like the lowest is 69, then 70, then 72, 75 and 78, no, 75, 76 and 78, then 282s, 185, 186 and 287s. Good, and so again we have 12. All right, so the minimum here is 69. The max is 87. So let's find the middle. So that again should be between the 6th and 7th month. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 is here. So we need to find that average. So 78 plus 82 is 160 divided by 2 is 80. And again, we need to use the left side for quartile 1 and the right side for quartile 2. So cross those off one by one. The average of 72 and 75 is going to be 73.5 for this one. So that's quartile 1. And for quartile 3, it's going to be the average of 85 and 86, which is 85.5. All right, so erasing all this information, we're just going to do a box and whisker plot that shows both on the same number line. In fact, I'm just going to stack them a little above each other, or yeah, stack them above. So on this number line, it's looking like the lowest number on both is 62, the highest is 87. So I'm going to go 60 to 90, and I'm going to go by fives. So 60, 65, 70, 75, 80, 85, and 90. And I probably could have done more, but whatever. All right, so for St. Petersburg, I'll do in pink. So the minimum is 62, so it's about here. The max is 86, so it's about here. Quartile 1 is 66, so that's where you start to draw a box. The median is 76, so that's about here. And 84 is about here. Okay, and let's see, do we want to label? Yeah, you should probably label, but we don't have to. We'll stop here. All right, so with Key West is 69 degrees is the lowest, and 87 is the highest. 73.5 is here, 80 is here, and 85.5 is here. All right, so with comparing, some of the things that we might want to say is that the differences vary overall between their temperatures. The differences vary less between or less with Key West temps than St. Petersburg for two reasons. Looking at just the difference between the max and min overall, you can tell that there's Key West is a little closer. Also, just looking at the interquartile range, let's do that. The interquartile range here is 85.5 minus 73.5. And that's going to be an interquartile range of 12. So most of their numbers have a difference of 12, whereas here, 84 minus 66 most of those numbers have a difference of 18. So they vary. St. Petersburg varies more than it does with Key West. Also, Key West temperatures are higher. And we can tell that just with the placement of the whiskers themselves. Both whiskers are higher than they are for St. Petersburg. All right, so that's how we would summarize that information. Let's go ahead and try the next one. So again, this time it says, how can you compare the temperatures with Dauphin Island and that of Grand Isle? Okay, so let's try that. So with Dauphin Island, I'm just going to use DI. We have, let's see, the min, the max, Q1, Q2, Q3, and then the max. All right, so with Dauphin Island, if we put those in order, the lowest is 51, 53, then 56. We're out of the 50s and 60s. It's just 60 and 62. And then for the 70s, we have 70, 72, 75. And for the 80s, we have 80, 82, 84, and 84. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so we have enough value. So the minimum here is 51. The max is 84. Find the values that are the 6 and 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So that's going to be 71 if you found the average. Then we need to find the lower quartile. So cross those out. The average of 56 and 60 is 58. So that's quartile 1. And then the average of 80 and 82 is 81. All right. We'll come back to those values. All right. So that's Dauphin Island. Then we needed to also find, what was the other one? Grand Isle. Grand Isle. So that's going to be GI. So again, min, Q1, Q2, Q3, and then the max. All right. So the minimum, well, first we need to get those in order. So Grand Isle in order. The lowest looks like it is 61. So 61, 61, 64, 65. That's all the 60s. 70s is 70, 70, 77, 77. 80s is 2 83s and 2 85s. All right, so again, looking for the 6th and 7th. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So 70 plus 77 divided by 2 is going to give us 73.5 as our middle. And this time I actually forgot to do the max and min. The min is 61, the max is 85. Then let's find those other values. So crossing those off one by one. That would be 64.5 is the average there, and then 83. All right, so now we need to compare using a box and whisker plot. I'm noticing that the lowest value is 51, the highest is 85, so I'm going to do 50 to 90 by 5s. All right, so for Dauphin Island, which I'll do in black, the lowest is 51. The highest is 84. You have 58, 71, and 81. And just so that we can see something else and compare later, its interquartile range is 81 minus 58, which is 23. All right, and then Grand Isle, its lowest is 61, its highest is 85. You have 64.5, 73.5, and then 83. That should be over a little more. And again, this IQR is 18.5. So honestly, this information is just about exactly like it was for the last problem, okay? You're going to notice that Grand Isle temperatures vary less than Dauphin Island. And that Grand Isle's temperatures are higher for the exact same reasons as the last problem. All right, let's keep going. All right, so in example 5, finding percentiles, it says, here's an ordered list of midterm scores for a Spanish class. What value is the 65th percentile? So to find percentiles, what you have to do first is to be sure that all numbers are ordered, whether that be least to greatest, greatest to least. Really, it should be least to greatest, that'd be the best. And then what you should do is count the numbers that you have, or the amount of numbers. So there are 20 numbers listed here. And so what we'll do is we'll multiply 20 times 65%. When you multiply 20 times 65%, you will get 13. So what that means is that at the 13th value, that is what is considered the 65th percentile. So if we count 13 numbers, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 82 is the value at the 65th percentile. All right, let's try the next one. All right, so again, we're using those same values, and it wants us to find the 55th percentile and the 95th percentile. So what I'm going to do is write out these values so that we don't have to keep going back and forth. So those are here. Okay, so this should be 20 values. Let me make sure. All right, so that's 20 values. So again, to find the 55th percentile, you will take those 20 values, so 20 times 55%, which is the same thing as multiplying 20 times 0.55. That will give us 11. So at the 11th value, that will be the 55th percentile. So if I count 11 numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 79 is at the 55th percentile. All right, and then for 95th, again, similar situation, 20 times 95%, or 20 times 0.95. That would be the 19th value. So 1 from the end is 98. So 98 is at the 95th percentile. All right, so that's it. Again, if you have any questions or you need to come see me, come for tutoring.